Hola clase, ¿qué tal? In this video we're going to talk about number and gender with nouns and adjectives. And specifically we're going to focus on adjectives for profession and for nationality. Ready? Bueno, vámonos. In this video I'll tell you what a noun is and also an adjective. We'll talk about gender, which we don't use very much, and number, which we actually have in English. We'll start by talking about what a noun is. You probably remember from your English classes that a noun is a person, a place, like my house maybe, a thing, like an ice cream cone, or an idea, like love. There are lots of different kinds of adjectives. There are adjectives that talk about possession, who owns something, or quantity. In this video, we're going to talk about descriptive adjectives, adjectives that describe nouns. Most adjectives in Spanish have four forms. They have masculine singular, feminine singular, masculine plural, and feminine plural. And those forms have to change to agree with a person. So if my professor is Mexican and he's a man, I'll say un profesor mexicano. So I need to make some changes to these to go along with the gender. So if I have a professor who's Mexican and it's a woman, I want to say mexicana, and I'll change the O to an A. If my professor is divertida, fun, I'll change again the O to an A. If my professor is a woman and German, she'll be alemana instead of aleman, and I need to lose the accent. I also have to lose the accent if my professor is a woman and French. I change francés to francesa. Making plurals is pretty easy in Spanish. If the word ends in a vowel, add s. If it ends in a consonant, add es. So if I have more than one professor and they're Mexican, I'll just add an S, mexicanos. If my professors are fun, profesores divertidos. If they're German, alemanes. And again, I'm going to have to lose that accent. Same thing if my professors are French, franceses. That's for all male or mixed gender group. But if my professors are all women and they're all Mexican, profesoras mexicanas. Change the O to an A and add an S. If they're fun, I change the O to an A, divertidas. If they're German women, alemanas. And guess what I'm going to do to the accent? Make it go away. Same thing for French. Frances, go away accent. Francesas. Some adjectives, however, in Spanish don't have four forms. They only have two, singular and plural. For these, you don't have to worry about if the person is masculine or feminine, male or female. You just have to worry about whether there's one person or more than one person that you're talking about. So if you have a friend who's Canadian, un amigo canadiense. If you have a female friend and she's Canadian, una amiga canadiense. So canadiense for male or female, estadounidense for male or female, interesante if your friend is interesting, male or female, and difícil if you have a particularly difficult person that you need to describe. To make them plural, we'll do the same thing that we did before. Do you remember what to do to make something plural when it ends in a vowel? Add an S. Canadienses. Estadounidenses. Interesantes. And how about if it ends in a consonant? Difíciles. This time I don't have to take the accent off because it was not on the very last vowel. How do you know if something has 2 forms or 4 forms? Usually, if the adjective ends in an O in your vocabulary list or in a dictionary, then it has 4 forms. If it ends in E or L, usually it has 2 forms. But pretty much you have to memorize it if it doesn't end in an O. Here are a couple of weird nouns that are exceptions to our rule. They have 2 forms, but they end in A for men or for women. So if someone is a guide, it's a guía. If someone is a dentist, dentista. If someone is a tourist, turista. And it doesn't matter whether it's a male or female dentist, a male or female tour guide, or a male or female tourist. And they always end the same way that we make plurals in Spanish. When we want to make it plural, they end in just an S. So if I have more than one dentist, I have 2 dentistas. Let's look back at what we've learned in this video about nouns and adjectives. We know that we need to be concerned about number, singular and plural, and gender, masculine and feminine, when we're working with nouns and adjectives in Spanish. We know that most adjectives in Spanish have 4 forms: masculine singular, feminine singular, masculine plural, and feminine plural. But some of them just have 2 forms, and then we only have to worry about singular or plural. And we also know that plurals are pretty easy to make in Spanish. We add an S to pluralize a word that ends in a vowel, or if that word ends in a consonant, we add ES. Es todo por hoy. Hasta la próxima.